Are budget bags any good, or is it worth it to spend double or triple on a premium backpack that you know will last? Today we're going to look at a budget bag from the mainstream travel brand Swiss Gear. First, we'll check out the materials and dimensions of the bag. Then, we'll discuss the pros and cons of using a budget backpack like this. And then lastly, we'll pack it up and see what we can fit in here for a weekend trip. This is the Viibe 8117 bag from Swiss Gear, which retails at $64.99 on their website. And while the materials and build of this bag will be nowhere near those of an Air or an Able Carry, I do think this bag could work well in some cases for some people. Thanks to Swiss Gear for sending me this bag to try out. Now let's get to it. The bag comes in at 14 by 10.5 by 0.5 inches, with a grand total of 18 liters in capacity. The bag weighs just 1.2 pounds. It's made from polyester, and the front features this subtle little metal Swiss Gear logo. You can see they are taking some design cues from the more premium bag companies, as it looks pretty slick for the budget bag that it is. One cool feature I want to point out first are these little loops hidden behind the main front compartment. The zippers for both the front easy access pocket as well as the main compartment have these little hooks on the end of them. And these kind of just latch on to the loops, creating a pretty decent security feature. So if you're walking around and someone tries to unzip your backpack, it's going to be really tough for them to open it. The front panel of this bag has this little shiny coat on the edges for a little bit more durability, and the top of the bag has this nice wide handle. I found myself always reaching for this when carrying the bag, wanting to carry it like a tote half of the time instead of on my back. Next, we have two little mesh side pockets to hold water bottles or other items. And these are pretty thin and short, so I'm not sure exactly how securely this will hold a water bottle, but they do look pretty nice. There is also this small front pocket, which only goes down about halfway on the front panel. And this is lined with a fuzzy felt-like material that feels pretty nice. I'm carrying my camera in this pocket, and I feel like the material does a good job of protecting it. You could also put a pair of sunglasses in here, but the material is thin, so you might want to reinforce it with a glasses case as well. Now, let's open up the main compartment zipper. You can see the front area just kind of folds right over, giving pretty good access to the main pocket. In the back, there's a laptop sleeve, which will hold up to a 15-inch laptop. And this area has that same fuzzy felt material that the front pocket has. And this pocket does hover a little bit, so if you do drop your bag, it will brace the impact. So now, looking at the inside front panel, we find a small mesh zipper pocket at the top, and this is where I'm storing my laptop charger. There's also a key lanyard in here too. Below that is another small open pocket, and there isn't really any padding when it comes to this pocket, so it's going to be good for something like a book or a notepad. Also, for some reason, this pocket doesn't go down the whole way, which creates some oddly unused empty space. And then lastly, we have this large pocket that goes down to the bottom of the bag. And this is where my chore coat is stored at the moment. But this is kind of a cool open space because with the shape of this bag, there's a large bottom area, so it makes it really easy to pack. And I'm going to show you more of that in the second half of the video coming up. Now, zipping the bag up, you can get a look at the interesting placement of the zipper. The bag comes to a point at the top, and it almost creates a triangular shape, which is kind of unique. The back panel of the bag is actually pretty nice for the price. There's a decent luggage pass-through, as well as some legitimately thick back padding. It does feel pretty good on the back when carrying, and it's breathable as well. Lastly, let's take a look at the straps. We have some elastic bands to hold the excess strap. And then the actual strap does have a little bit of padding. It's going to be nicer than what you'll find on most bags at this price point. However, it's probably half as thick as what you would find with an Air or an Able Carry bag. So now that you've seen the bag, let's talk about some of the pros and cons of using this backpack. Pro number one is going to be the price. At just $64.99, this bag is considerably less than some of the premium brand options. Pro number two, the design. The bag does look pretty nice, and the triangular shape is cool for packing when you do want a wider base at the bottom of the bag. Pro number three, these unique safety hooks. The hooks on the front of the bag that the zippers can latch onto are really thoughtful, and they seem like they do a really good job of keeping your stuff safe. Now let's jump into the cons. Con number one, the materials. There's no way around saying it, the materials just do not stack up against premium bags. The 1680 Cordura ballistic nylon used in airbags is just so thick and premium feeling. But like I said in the pro section, you will be paying for this higher quality, 2 to 3 times the amount of this bag. Con number two, the straps. While the shoulder straps are good for a bag like this, I could see it getting pretty uncomfortable if you are going on a long trip. So using this bag is going to be more for everyday carry use, making it a little less versatile than it could be. Also, the lack of a sternum strap could also be included in this con. And now con number three, the hardware. One of the places that this bag saves on cost is the hardware. The zippers have a cheaper feeling to them. We're not seeing any of those thick YKK zippers that we usually see on the premium bag options. So now let's try packing up this bag for a weekend trip just to see what we can fit in here. We'll start off with this tennis button-up from Abercrombie & Fitch. I thought what better time than now to be wearing this because of Wimbledon, which is actually my favorite tennis major of the year. Next up is a polo shirt from Levi's. And this vintage-inspired terry cloth shirt is awesome for the summer. Lastly, we have a pop-over shirt from J. Crew. And as you can see, the theme here is polo shirts. Anyway, I love the color on this one, and all 3 shirts pair really nicely with a pair of jeans. Next are going to be a pair of shorts from Nike, and these are just good to lounge, sleep, swim, wear out. They're really versatile. Next, we have my go-to Gap boxer briefs. And then we have some socks from Bombas, which are still holding up really well after 5+ months of use. Next is going to be my toiletries bag, and this one is from Able Carry. And if you want to see what toiletries I'm currently carrying, be sure to check out my recent toiletries update video. Then we have my MacBook charger. And you can't forget the MacBook too for this trip. I'll also pass on the handheld gaming system this time. I'm going to opt for a book instead. I'm always attempting to read more, and this poetry book by Kenneth Koch is an easy read. Lastly, I'll bring my Contax TVS point and shoot, which is just such a wonderful little camera. And then we're just going to pack it all up. So what do you think about budget bags? Is it worth it to save a little money to compromise a little bit on quality? By no means is this a bad bag, and it's definitely a great option for some people. But I'm curious to see what you think, so please leave a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video.